Welcome to Whiskey Conversations. I'm Daniel Whittington, Chancellor of Wizard Academy Whiskey Marketing School. Today my guest is Roy Williams, the founder of Wizard Academy, the Chancellor Emeritus, which feels like somehow more important than Chancellor. It's just a better name.
Well,
Chancellor's boring. Chancellor
you have
Emeritus
to have merit.
sounds cool.
You have to have merit to be emeritus.
Yeah, I'm not there yet.
All right.
Maybe someday. I wanted to pour for us and have a conversation. The first whiskey that you were like, hey, you know what? This one isn't crap. With me, and you're like, I actually kind of like that one. We should get some more of that. And it was, I'll put it back up here, Dalmore, the cigar malts. And you don't smoke cigars,
Right.
which is probably for the best. But cheers to you, sir. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me. Why Dalmore?
Well, I think you set me up for it.
Yeah, I probably did.
Yeah. You were doing a whiskey tasting and you said, and this one to me tastes like Christmas. Mm-hmm. And I smelled it and I'm going, I smell Christmas.
Yeah, fig, cake.
Well, no, it's all of the autumn spices. It's
Yeah.
all the spices you have in mincemeat pie. It's all the spices you have in wassail.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so,
wassail, that's a reference I haven't used in
yeah.
ages.
And then you say the figgy pudding.
Yeah.
We shall have some figgy pudding.
Yes, we will demand it, actually. Give us some figgy pudding. Oh, yeah, no, this is one of my favorites. Cheers to you. I'll take a sip of this one. So by the way, we're drinking at your bar that was in your office in Buda. And then when we got here and I showed up for the first time, you're like, I'm putting a bar in your office. And I was like, this is going to be a good job.
There's a story behind this bar.
Yeah, tell me the
I
bar.
don't know. Have you ever told you this
No.
story? Okay. When you want to assemble strange and unusual things,
Yes.
you have to visit strange and unusual places.
Accurate.
And one of those places, 30 years ago, was a thing where the bank had this big facility. And they had repossessed a bunch of stuff that was collateral from loans that went bad.
Right.
So I go to look at some of this. And this bar was there, and it was in really amazing condition.
Where was this?
In Austin.
In Austin,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And so I looked at it and said, I'm definitely going to buy that. Unfortunately.
Yes, so did.
Unfortunately. There's at least one other person there who had made the same conviction. I am going to leave it. And so, you know how it is.
Yeah.
You can't sure, you can go up a couple, maybe $250 more,
Yeah,
okay?
but then 1,000.
We wound up at $7,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I could probably buy 6 of these new.
Yeah, absolutely.
For $7,000. But I've never seen another one. Have you ever seen another one?
I haven't. I've Googled them to try to see if I could ever replace it as something.
Right.
Nope.
Yeah. No, it's
Crap ones. I've seen cheap ones.
This
that
is
look
not.
like
This is
particle
actual
board.
wood,
Yeah, this is real.
made from actual trees.
Yes.
And so that's the thing. And then I've moved it to lots of different places, but this is where it was born to be.
Oh yeah, no,
This
it
is
was
the
so
spot.
home in this corner, and this was the first whiskey shelves behind me that we ever had set up in this when this was my office, and it's been, videos, countless things have been shot. You could tell, it's been well loved now.
Yes.
This is what hard liquor does to varnish.
So tell me this: is Dalmore considered among whiskey drinkers an extreme flavor?
Not extreme.
Okay.
Well, actually, let me correct that. Maybe it's definitely more sherry forward than a lot of other scotches,
That
which
explains
gives
it.
all the Christmassy things.
That explains a lot.
Yeah.
Because deep down, I really like wine.
Yeah.
I think I'm tasting the sherry barrel.
Yeah, you are. Yeah,
Okay.
you're like, I like Armagnac. This is good.
Yes. Yes.
I like cognac. I like sherry. I like Oloroso. So I got to Wizard Academy, and it took me at least 6 months to get a handle on what was going on here. And I had 2 questions I wanted to ask you while I have you trapped at your own bar. And that is, the first was, the more I spent hanging out with you and clients, and the more I understood the background of where this came from, I thought, you could have just gotten real rich and then just kept getting richer. But instead, you spent a crazy amount of effort and time and energy and money and commitment to build this thing that you intended to give away. Why?
Okay, I
hope that's not putting you too much
not,
on the
it's
spot.
not,
Okay.
it's a question, the answer comes in layers.
Okay, bring it on.
Layers,
We got whiskey.
layers like an onion. And the first thing you have to decide is, why do I want to do this? Why do I want to do this? So the idea of starting a school for money is a really absurd idea. I mean, it really, really, really is a bad idea. So it was never, ever, 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 ever about the money.
Yeah, because everyone knows education is where you get rich.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, no, a lot of people have asked the question over the years. As a matter of fact, the people that I like least are the ones who say, why didn't you just keep it and build some wealth and all this stuff? And I'm going, dude, I didn't start a school to build wealth. I started a school because there were things that I thought needed to be talked about more often. And if I will wave the flag, a self-selected group of people will find this place and I can turn it over to them because here's the second layer of the onion.
Yeah.
Right? I knew from a study of history that any person who's the founder of anything, Billy Graham.
Right.
Billy Graham Evangelistic Association. Or Elbert Hubbard, who started the Roycrofters in East Aurora, New York. If you don't turn over the thing that you started, while you're still a viable leader, while you're still capable of doing it yourself, then the organization you founded, in 9 times out of 10, will disappear from the face of the earth within 10 years of your death. It will just cease to exist. And the only way that an organization ever moves into the future is if the founder is willing to be utterly forgotten. And you have to make that choice. Well, I made the choice before my wife ever bought the land. We said, okay, the third layer of the onion, okay? The biggest tragedy that could possibly happen would be to build a monument to ozymandias.
Oh, yeah.
To this is Roytown.
Yeah, what is the...
this is Roytown and I am Roy.
What's the poem?
Ozymandias.
Ozymandias.
Yeah, Ozymandias. That idea of Roytown is the most creepy thing I could possibly imagine.
The only time I've ever watched you be uncomfortable in front of a room is when someone showed up and they were obviously like a fanboy.
This happens a few times.
Yeah.
The creepiest time is before we built the tower and we were still meeting in Tuscan Hall.
Yeah.
And I would just have a free public seminar because it was in my DNA at that time. That's the whole reason the school got started, was so many people wanted to hire me as an ad writer. And it was an everyday thing. And there's only a certain number of hours. And there's a certain number of people you can work for, and then you have to draw a line and say, I'm not getting enough sleep, guys. And I literally can't. And then they go, well, one more, can you take just one?
Just for us.
And so, we really think you would like this. And I'm going, this is such an exhausting thing. We decided, all right, we'd have a free public seminar. FPS is what we called it, the free public seminar. And we're going to have it once a month. And anybody that's willing to buy a plane ticket to Austin and rent a hotel room, I'll buy them lunch and put on a show and teach them as many things as I can possibly teach them in a day, a long day. And so we were doing that simply as a salve for conscience.
Yeah.
Simply so that you could say no, but.
Yeah.
I will teach you, bring your people, and I will teach you how to do this. And so we were doing that. And we were doing one while we were still building the campus. We'd already built Tuscan Hall. And we're in the auditorium. A couple hundred people are there. This is the creepiest one. The creepiest one. And I would always begin by trying to decide, who's in the room and what do they want. Because if you can find somebody that actually has an interesting question or an interesting problem, you'll begin there.
Right.
And then it will take you where it will. And so I said, can anybody tell me specifically why they're here so I can have a sense of what you're hoping to leave with? And some people raised their hand, and this one guy.
I feel like I'm remembering this now.
Listen.
And I'm feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah. There's a guy on the front row. And it's like it happened this morning. The guy in the front row, he said, well, I just came to bask in your essence.
Oh my God.
And I almost threw up in my mouth a little. I did. That was it right there. And I said, there will be no essence basking.
Yeah, no.
I said, that actually creeps me out a little. And if you don't calm down, I'm going to ask you to leave.
Yeah.
It's like, this is really, and I think that might have been when I quit having them.
Yeah, you're like, okay, this is changed.
Like, this is too weird.
Yeah.
And so then, I don't know. Do you realize there were like 3 or 4 false starts before Rex brought you to my attention?
Oh yeah, Michelle Miller, who.
No, I'm talking about as vice chancellor.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Michelle Miller was one, wasn't she?
No, she was never vice chancellor.
Oh, okay.
See, she was going to be the first choice for chancellor, but then her husband got sick, and she nursed him for 15 years.
Right.
And
I know you talked with Bettersworth.
Yep. No, talked to Bettersworth for sure.
By the way, talked to him yesterday. Kicking.
Oh, no, he's awesome.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Manly Miller. So there were 3 people that might have been chancellor, but the vice chancellor position, I was plugging people in and out of that for 15 years.
Just try. No.
Just
try.
like, yeah. So
No.
none of them ever quite understood what the job was. And then,
Spoiler alert, we still aren't sure. So we started whiskey school. I'd been here a couple of years. It was your idea. You were like, you're going to do this thing. And I was like, but I don't think we can. And you're like, nope, this is what's happening. And so we did. And son of a bitch, it worked. And it brought in a whole other circle of people who didn't come through the door of the Wizard of Ads or the old FPSers or any of the historical Wizard Academy doors. The first couple of classes had some Wizard Academy people in them. But by about the 5th class, we were getting people, this was their only experience, and they didn't realize we were a business school.
Yeah.
And one of those, you walked in to check in and see how things were going.
Right.
And you walked in and I realized everyone in the room, there's like 12 people in the room, and they all went,
who's this random?
yeah, and I went, oh man. And I kind of felt it. Like I felt like just standing there like, ooh, I don't know if I like that moment. I hope Roy's okay. And you just like, hey, I just came in here to get some tea. And then you made some tea and we chatted. They were doing some writing assignment. And then you left. And I never had the guts to bring it up because I was like, man, that must have been a really weird sensation to walk into a space that you built with sweat, blood, and time and have no one recognize you.
No, not as much. No, I don't actually even remember the event.
That's a relief.
So I do remember, though, Penny's older sister, Patty, this was, golly, at least 17, 18 years ago. And we were walking around the campus, and she said, how does it feel? And I says, what do you mean? She says, how do you feel? You know, it's 30 acres, and you built all of this, and blah, 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 blah. And I said, I still think I'm missing the essence of the question here. And she says, well, you know, blah, blah, blah. And to know that this is yours. And I said, oh, Patty. I said, I don't think of it as mine at all.
Yeah.
And this is before we had actually formed the nonprofit and formally deeded everything over.
Yeah.
But I do remember that because I was actually confused by the fact that she was thinking that I took this great pride in this. And so, no, the fact that it's about 4 years ago, I guess, or 5 now, that I told Penny, I said, you know, if something happened to me right now, I know the school would be fine. Mm-hmm. I said, it is now, has its own wings. It's not depending on my 15 minutes of fame or the relationships or contacts that I have, but the whiskey school thing.
Yeah.
I don't think you've ever told this story because it needs to be told.
Okay.
The story needs to be told.
I'm going to make it up on the spot.
No, that's it. So I was thinking about it a minute ago when I was looking at that map.
Tour of Scotland. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I bought that map.
Yes, you did.
And I had it framed.
Yes, you and I chose that.
Yeah, we
went to the woman that you used to use, who was an amazing artist at framing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I used to use it for the Tour of Scotland.
Yep.
I still do, by the way.
So here's the thing. The very first time, it was in this room. Now remember, in this building. In this building right here, we have a wine cellar with a meaningful amount of wine.
Yeah,
more than anyone can drink in a week.
Good wine.
Yeah. And so my tradition is every morning we'd walk in and everybody would get the purple coffee.
Yep.
You know, at 8:30, 9 in the morning. And that was just a thing. And so at the end of the day, we came in. This was your office at the time.
Yes, it was.
The Whiskey Vault was actually your office.
I know. I miss it.
And so, huge office, little desk there by the window.
Massive.
And I remember, I think you'd been here a year and a half maybe.
Yeah.
And as vice chancellor. And I walked in and I said, okay, so we plopped down, made ourselves comfortable, got some chairs, and I said, this bar was already here. And I said, would anybody like a glass of wine? 4 or 5 people raised their hands. And then you said, well, would anybody like some single malt scotch?
Yeah.
And a whole bunch of hands flew up. But I'm going, well, that's interesting.
Yeah. Well, hang on.
And so 2 interesting things. I didn't know that many people liked whiskey.
Yeah, or that I had any.
Or that you had any. And so then I remember you stood up and you said, there's 5 regions in Scotland.
Yeah.
And I'm going to serve you a taste of each of these 5 regions.
That's right.
Now, this region right here, and then you explained all about that region. And then you're pouring a little taste for everybody, and then they're spellbound. Yeah. I'm watching all of this. And then they're spellbound. And I said, then you said, in this region here, this is Iowa. You know, and so then you told about that, and you poured them a little bit of that, and everybody, and then this one here. And so, and then you got to all 5 of them, and you told them about the properties of the region and the qualities of the wine and what they were about to taste and what was going to be going through their imagination and the journeys they were going to take in their mind as they tasted this. And I'm going, oh, this is selling right here. I said, this guy, he knows how to romance the hell out of whiskey. And so I remember thinking, as I was watching this, I said, I need to get him a map, and I need to give him some money to replenish his private store.
Yeah, that's the part I remember.
I need to give him some money to replenish his private store of whiskey, because he's got all these marvelous whiskeys in his desk, and now he's pouring quite a bit for these people. And so I didn't actually take any action. We got distracted. The evening was over. And so a couple weeks later, we came in here and I said, would anybody like some wine? And a few people raised their hands. And then you said, would anybody like any whiskey? I've got single malt Scotch, and there's 5 regions of Scotland. And you put on the show again.
It really was the original.
And everybody was absolutely spellbound. And I said, okay, I really need to get that map, and I really need to buy him some whiskey. And so after it was over, I said, look, go and buy yourself. I don't want to wipe out your little private store of whiskey. So go buy some whiskey so that you can pour whiskey that the school has purchased. And
that's true, because that was from my house. I was bringing it in from my house because I didn't want to spend Academy money on it yet. I didn't have
listen, I see that you're all
history.
out. I see that you're all out.
So. Yeah, I have a plan. I'm finishing, but I have a plan for something right after this.
Okay, so
to wrap that, you said go get some whiskey.
And then you came back with this there's a brown bag. There's a brown grocery store bag of whiskey. And I said, wow, that's great. I said, what did we spend? You said, $1,400. And I'm going, that must be really good whiskey. Oh, it's great whiskey, and there's 5 regions in Scotland. And so, anyway.
That was so good.
And then I said, you should start a school and do this as a class.
Yeah.
And then we can give people, they could become whiskey sommeliers.
Yeah. And I was like, can we do that? You're like, no, legally.
I said, look, our license as a 501c3 as an educational organization.
Yep.
And we get to choose anything we want to teach.
Yeah.
Anything in the world. We have literally the specific license you need to start a school, and when people graduate, you can make them the official whatever it is you're teaching.
Yep.
And I said, we are those people.
Yep.
And then you said, well, I think maybe we should do this.
Yeah,
and I said,
all right.
Yes. We said, we're going to get you a map so that you don't have to use your hand anymore.
Yeah, this is Scotland.
Well, tell me your plan.
Okay, you're going to appreciate this. So I also have right here for us the first bottle you ever gave me from Woody Justice.
Wow, yeah.
He left at your house. And it was around the time I was pouring for other people, and I'll pour you a different. Or are you gonna? You got that one?
Yeah. There you go.
There you go. You can use this for Justice's pour. This was your friend, one of the guys who put you on your path for ad writing and really all the client work. And he kept it at your house so he could drink scotch when he was at your house. And you brought that, and you're like, this has been sitting in my house since Woody passed.
Yeah.
And I think it belongs here. And this is that bottle. I have not touched it except for the couple of times that you've been in here with me. And I thought, that's a good way to drink from this one.
You're going to have to give me a minute.
I know. Woody Justice is... we teach a lot about the ads that were written in those early days, but it felt right.
To Woody?
Sorry to ambush you.
Woody, I like the Dalmore better.
Yeah, it is a better whiskey. Yeah, I agree.
So what's special about this besides the fact that my friend gave it to
For me, it's I think one of the better accessible Johnnie Walker blended scotches. It's just a really well-made whiskey. It's a little bit older age statement. It's nicer. It's what you drink if you want to drink fancy blended scotch, but you don't want to have to spend $400 on a Johnnie Walker Blue.
Okay, now tell me what makes this fancy?
Older.
Oh, okay.
That's it. Just older. But I think it tastes better than the even lower budget stuff.
Okay, so now that I've had 2 sips, I'm beginning to taste it.
A little smokier.
Yeah. So what is the, how do you taste older? What does older taste like?
Softer. It might taste a little more like a cohesive flavor instead of a bunch of different fighting flavors. It might be what could be described as smoother or softer on the tongue. Simpler is the wrong word, but it's close to
Integrated.
integrated. That's the correct word.
Yeah, integrated. So I taste it now that you describe it. But see, I've often wondered if that's the key to guiding people on a tour of flavors. Is the fact that you can, when they expect it, then they will experience it.
Yeah.
When they're not expecting it, they don't experience
Yeah, well, and there was an actual science around this that said that if your brain doesn't understand how to categorize a piece of data, it effectively ignores the data and considers it an outlier and then fills in something else in that blank, like color. If it sees something, it doesn't know how to categorize the color, it replaces that description in your brain with something else and folds it into a different category. And so it is true that unless someone has the language for an experience, then they actually don't physically have the experience. And so someone can taste something and go, I just taste alcohol. And then you could be like, how about these 3 things? And they'll go, well, son of a...
So the Johnnie Walker's blended.
And this is just a single malt. Only barley, only pot still.
I like going back and forth between them.
Right?
I do.
They make a good blend if you dump them together.
No, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
So
Well, that was all I had. I wanted to drink something that was meaningful to both of us, and it's meaningful to me in different ways. I know for you it's woody, and that's a big hammer to drop. But for me, it's meaningful because this was the thing that, to me, the founder of this entire school said, I think you're doing the right thing, and I'm going to put like something really meaningful to me behind this.
well, I'm glad we were able to have some of this together.
Yeah,
and you're doing a
cheers.
marvelous job, and I'm very proud.
Thank you. I am very grateful. Cheers to.
Cheers.
And we're really glad you're here. Cheers. If you like good storytelling and good scotch, then there's a channel I can recommend. It's called it's this. You should like and subscribe to this one. Maybe someday we'll get to it.